All right, what's up, everybody? All right, wait a couple minutes, but I'll be real. I was gonna do this on my own, uh, even if I'm talking to nobody here. I'm just really confused because I feel like with the different statements that have been coming out, I don't know what to believe at this point, and I don't want to just blindly. I don't want to just blindly what's it called take the players' side. I think at the end of the day, a league is with players, but if some of the stuff that USL has said in their recent statement is true, it's definitely not just cut and dry or as cut and dry as I think a lot of us had thought. Um, and again, this is all just my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me or gas me up either way. But I just want to kind of get this split screen going. Sorry, I'm this is a new streaming platform, so bear with me. It's kind of still learning the tools, but all right. So USL released this labor update. Adjust my screen. All right. And then I want to compare this also to just some of the stuff that USLPA is talking about. I think it's on X is their main stuff. What's good, Peter? What's good, Soccer Socks? Yeah. No, just breaking down. So there's kind of like a new development. I think today was one of the last or before the season starts official more bargaining periods for USL Championship. And just to be clear, this does not affect USL League One. It obviously, I mean, it still has like correlations and stuff. USL League One is going to be kicking off this weekend, to my knowledge, no matter what, even if this really fully blows up even more than it already has. This is only for championship, so the top tier of USL. Again, I haven't really gone live since I've grown a lot of the fan base and have a lot more like photographers and things like this. So just to give a little background, but let's just start with the most recent one. So this is what, as of say p.m. Eastern, I'm on the West Coast. So about an hour ago. All right. After several hours of bargaining today. Oh yeah, soccer sucks. Yeah, I'm going to the AV Alta game. It's their home opener this Saturday. That's the first day for USL One. Some clubs kick off next week. And so like I'd sent this to my guy because football, Andrew, over because football. And this alone, so actually we should take this because he was like, oh, it doesn't mention healthcare in here or anything like that. This is what they released earlier this morning at 7 a.m. my time. And dude, Jake, I hopefully I get to a point where I can actually have people working for the brand. I got to start making a little money in the on the brand first, but I believe it. Let's go. Um so this was this morning. And again, I'm not going to read all of this and waste everybody's time, especially with my like third grade reading level. But let's look at just some of the main ones. So key issues. This was this morning. They have updated it, but need a little context first. They're obviously going to say, yeah. So JB, I don't know. Honestly, the main reason I'm going live up until this point, I've still been taking it seriously. All this stuff, but I really didn't think we'd get to this point. It's such a fragile league to start and everything too. So oh yeah, no, that'd be sick. Yeah, DM me about any inquiries with that stuff. That would be awesome. I love Westchester SC too. They weren't the best on the field last year, but they were my first team I visited last year. All right. So the league has kind of said, and it kind of is echoed here. These proposals reflect meaningful concessions, including on issues of substantial importance to the league and clubs. Um, they're basically, I think it was somewhere in this statement, kind of calling, which is not unusual for especially like labor and union sort of negotiations. Uh, God, there was one quote I saw. Yeah, unfortunately, much of the public discussion has not reflected how far negotiations have progressed or the scope of the league's proposals. Which I get it. It's a bargaining chip. I think a lot of people have just blindly or on the very surface level. It is not official yet. No, not yet. Um, on the surface level, and me included, you automatically side with the players, but I feel like it's not necessarily a cut and dry issue. There's definitely things the USL players have kind of been And the USLPA has been, as you can see on this screen, I mean, they're kind of acting like there hasn't been any negotiation or kind of compromise. Maybe there's been small steps taken. And this is the only thing I have with USOPA, and I get it totally. I'm not knocking them for this because it makes sense negotiation wise. It's just like basic negotiation, especially if you do have like a labor dispute like this. But like if the USL is correct in that they've made substantial movement, it might not be to their liking totally yet. That's totally fine. But like USOPA keeps posting these things from old quotes where it's if this is all I'm saying here. Somebody is either being very manipulative or just straight up lying, or it's probably a little bit of both and just negotiation tactics. But like they're posting this stuff, no health insurance, no MRIs until it's too late. Players rush back. That's totally it. Both sides are threatening to like destroy each other when it's at the end of the day. This is such a fragile league, man. I just, it's such a bummer to see. We do not need the Middle East to invest in this league. Oh gosh. Um, this is my thing though. I get it. It's probably is a little bit of the league being cheap as well, or a lot of it being that. One of these is not true because if they're still posting all this stuff on the USLPA where it's different things, and again they have called out the statements and everything like that. I mean somebody's not Steve Ballmer would be sick. I mean he's just got that unlimited. Yeah, that Microsoft money is no joke. That new Clippers stadium, not to get on a tangent, that new Clippers stadium is sick too, as a Laker fan. Um, in here, like I haven't broken this down on a stream yet, but yeah, USL Premier. I will say that the announcement of the USL Premier it was a big reason I've kind of been siding with the players, very much so throughout this whole thing because that's just really brutal timing to bring that up when you have not given sufficient healthcare and things like that. So I do think that the timing of that alone is very, at the very least, ignorant. But I get it. You gotta pump up your voice. But just so here, this is as of this morning. I know, yeah, it's like the league's gonna be destroyed before we even get to Pro Rel, which is like what we all want to see. But again, if we can't do Pro Rel right, I'd rather keep this than the league collapses after a year or two of Pro Rel. Gage, my exact thing too. That is the league doesn't, in my opinion, the league doesn't need to directly provide healthcare, but they need to require every club to at least have some sufficient form of it. I was talking about this with Andrew because football before. He was like, "Well, I think the USLPA wants the league to kind of be in charge of the healthcare. You can still do that through the clubs. You just have to mandate the clubs. At the end of the day, the USL is the one that governs all of the clubs. It can't be that hard to put in a rule or enforce it. Again, I am no lawyer, and that's why I'm not even going to pretend like even with breaking all this down, I know everything that's going on here. Um, that is the part when this morning the USL statement, where was it? Was it on here? Yeah, health insurance. So this in 2025, there was no man. That's like crazy. USL 2 and 3 are not striking. No, they're sorry, my bad. USL League 1 and USL 2 are not striking. Yeah, yeah. So in 2025, there was no mandate requiring clubs to provide health insurance under the current CBA. I get that is a much older CBA, but even still, that's ridiculous for a pro league. Despite that, the vast majority of clubs, that should never be a statement. Like you were saying, Gage, like vast majority and health insurance in a professional sports league, I feel like is just, I don't know the word for it. It's just silly. Like it doesn't make any sense. Vast majority, like you said, yeah, Tulsa just straight up watch an opposing guy's leg snap on our field last year. Yeah, exactly right. Like it could be, well, the club is like, shoot, you just got to go to the hospital on your own. And the fact that even if it's a one club that's doing that, and it's clearly more by the way they're phrasing it, if it is one club out of the what's like going to be 30 plus and stuff like that, I mean, that's an issue, and that falls on the league. I get it's individually run clubs. This isn't even like the NFL where it's, it's so what's it called? Yeah, same CBA. So even 2 years ago. Like, I get even, like, the NFL, their franchise, it's a little different. You still own the team, but it's a lot more like, I don't know how to put it, like, it's more like an owner's club. Even with this, there's still just no excuse. So this is, I believe, yeah, this is the new league's proposal, and they don't really mention health insurance up here, so this is, what I'm gonna assume is what's standing as of now. Um, that's what I mean, Jake, and again, I'm not this isn't even me trying to sit on a fence or anything like that. It is very possible that the players are now they've seen the whole public pushback on the USL, and they're just getting way too greedy. I'm not saying that's what's happening at all, but in every negotiation, it's it takes compromise both ways. And yes, USL, I think it's very obvious that the USL is being cheap. It's not as obvious that all the players are now pushing their luck a little bit. But man, it's for a league in USL where I think virtually every team is losing money and has been. It's a tough spot. I mean, not to get too into it, but it's like even with like WNBA, right? They want this crazy package, and it's totally. I mean, it's a really cool sport. It's a great product, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like if you've been hemorrhaging money for so long, you don't really have as the players as much leverage. And I think the USL is just standing really strong on that. Now that can also then cross over into greed from the USL side, from just watching and covering a lot of different like lockouts and things like that throughout pro sports. It's again, that's why it's never a cut and dry issue. I think up until this point, ignorantly, yeah, I mean, yeah, the players don't have leverage, but at the same time, in a full strike, the owners are screwed. They're already losing money, and in some cases, a lot of money on these teams to try and get them off the ground and really get them going for pro rel. But I mean, man, it's yeah. Oh yeah, ECHL. I was talking with Gage of Scissor Tail Shirts. Gage is or was in here. Um, yeah, CBA was yeah, exactly. So again, in God forbid we don't play matches this weekend. I'm hoping they can just get to a point where this isn't a month to longer issue. Because to the USL players' credit, they're standing on business. Like they voted 90% to yeah, that's the thing, JJ. Like I don't know. Yeah, that's something for a guy with a lot more access and legal and financial smarts than I. Um Yeah, oh my gosh, that well, if we get Keanu Reeves to play striker for Miami FC, then, scrap the whole league, that's worth it. Just to be clear, that is sarcasm. That is sarcasm. But, no, again, I just think it's yeah, the teams don't even get that's what I mean. So it's such a weird thing because it's like I feel like it's almost a three-way fight here, but only a two-way negotiation. Where yeah, definitely PWHL definitely makes or means more in terms of the hockey development and stuff. The only thing is I do think that the USL has more profitability ceiling with pro rel, and I'm talking 10, 20 years down the line. PWHL is awesome, and I mean, I think they're already profitable, or I mean, it's tough when you're just starting a new league. But a lot of this does come down to money. I mean, that's even like what I was saying with WNBA. It's like awesome product, love watching it, all this stuff, but it's at a certain point financially, if you've just been losing millions nonstop, it's tough to then negotiate from the player's perspective when the league's like, "Hey, look at this." And that's a lot like what's happening in the USL. Not nearly the same because those are both like more influential for their sports than the USL is, at least at this point. But I mean, man, if USL has pro rel, no offense to the PWHL, but they're going to skyrocket in terms of importance for their sport in 10 years if they do it right. PWHL is obviously awesome, but it's like if you can actually get pro rel and this overtakes MLS, I think it's hard to argue that USL might be the most influential league in the US just because all the other ones are kind of monopolized. It's just one big league. They're not really threatened by anything. Minimum 18 guaranteed. Yeah, I feel like that's sorry, I'm just going through these. The 12-month contracts is huge because from what I've seen with the health insurance, having gaps in the health insurance with having off seasons, I don't think they covered that. Correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody knows. I think they would have gaps in health insurance. So, oh, you get like just normally sick or something. Yeah, you have an off season, but you're still employed by the team. But I don't know. That's again, a lot of this is above my my pay grade, so to speak. Improved travel standards, I feel like is going to be a thing, but I mean that's just so broad too. Mental health breaks. I mean, I feel like that's just in every new negotiation now. Just important, not belittling it. Oh, my bad, Cosmos. I didn't see that. Again, I'm not the one in these circles right now. Like, if I had to make a prediction, I think they cancel this week's games, and this is on no authority. This is not me reporting anything. I cover like the fan experience and stuff like that, and the players. I'd be very not very surprised. I'd say right now, if I had to make a like percentage, I'd say it's 60-40 that they don't play this weekend. But I do think that them not playing this weekend, sort of like the ECHL, is I'd hope that by the next weekend. I also have a trip planned to Oakland. Selfishly, I get that is not the important thing, but I'm trying to get out to that Oakland Roots game too, and then New Mexico and OCSC or reverse those. Um, I don't know, man. USL. I think that just with the CBA and things like that, I don't think there's any way because they've had this whole camp. There's no way they replace the players at this point. It's either you're playing with your rosters or not. Even if the USL players really take a while and like they're like, cool, we're gonna strike the whole season. You would have to get guys in with a month. You can't just for a professional sport. It would look so bad. It looked better for the USL if they were on a strike than it would be to call up semi-pro guys, especially because USL two, most of the players are still tied to their colleges. Like that's a big issue with US Open Cup. Why a lot of these teams aren't going to have their rosters that they'll have in a few months because college players can't be released yet, or some of them can't. So I don't see a single way that there's like replacement players. Um, yeah, minimum compensation. Yeah. We'll see. So then they have Division 1. My bad. That's not USL League. This is not USL League 1. This is for when they do Pro Rel. So it'll steadily rise. Yeah, I got you. It's kind of the answers I don't think they would, but who knows, man. This league is chaos. For better or for worse. Right now it's for worse. But uh USLPA. So this is one where I'm like, is USLPA either purposely leaving this out or lying or whatever it might be, or USL is lying with this. Under the current CBA, so the past one, USLPA received 25K for group licensing and the ability to pursue independent commercial deals, although they have not secured any. Now, that can't be for a lack of trying because a lot of these markets, man, have very high potential and I mean, this automatically like doesn't make sense to me because just the outreach from fans overly siding. Yeah, true. NPSL is, ugh. But again, NPSL ain't pro right now. Like this is really sad, just all around for a pro league. Um, that is very fragile right now, very fragile, and they're just not doing themselves any favors. No, nor is anybody in this. Dang, real quick shout out. I have like, there's been like 5 different JTs that have hopped in. So I love my JTs out here. Let's go. Um, but this is weird. Again, if this is something, maybe that's why the players, again, to my knowledge, haven't really been complaining about that. But man, like you're given 25K for like group licensing and independent commercial deals, and you don't use any, is certainly a choice. And who knows? I mean, maybe they have, but I'm going off the statements I can see. Um, oh yeah, yeah. Gage, look, they give a direct comparison. PWHL. I don't know if you'd seen this. PWHL is the pinnacle of its sport with a high concentration. Yeah. Oh no, yeah. You would call this out earlier. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I'll be real, like, I don't know if they play as of now. Again, like I had said, I think it was before you had hopped on Soccer Zombie, like, my very uneducated opinion would be 60-40. They don't play this week, but I would say that then they get it in the next week or 2. Because at a certain point, then players aren't gonna be getting paid too, like, it's tough, but it's business. In-season buyouts, I feel like that does matter. I guess that does matter when it comes to teams folding. I didn't really think of that. I'm like, all right, buyouts, like as long as you're getting most of your salary, I feel like that's pretty status quo for pro sports. But no, that is huge with all these. Hey, what's up, Futura? About to go on strike, possibly. It's a whole mess. Yeah, was it encouraging though? Because I mean, this is like basically the exact opposite of what the players have been saying. Um, Which I don't know. I don't know if I'd categorize it as, like, encouraging just because I feel like that means they're now the USLPA was weaponizing the negotiations against the USL, and USL was kinda staying quiet, and now USL kinda just dropped this bombshell of, like and again, who knows how fully upfront it is and stuff, but I mean, this is pretty thorough, and a lot of it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, as of now, I would say 60-40, probably not, but, honestly, it's probably 50-50 Futuro. Like, I don't know if OCSC is gonna be playing. Yeah, but I just yeah, the ISC endorsement definitely was huge for the players, and again, but the Players Association, to their credit, but without even, like and again, probably lean towards players here, as most people would, but it's I they've done a really good job at and I don't mean this in a mean way, but, like, weaponizing social media. And USL just has not been. USL has, I think, been like trying to their idea totally, but Gage just being like not this. I mean, if this is actually what it is, this just isn't what the players have been saying for the most part. So even if it is break glass in case of emergency, at a certain point, man, it's like it's tough to some of these concessions. I get they are like a lot of these are the bare minimum, but it's like from the what the players association has been posting and stuff. Like this is from the last one. I get it, but like no MRIs, players rush back under pressure. Like if the USL has already made steps, it feels really like manipulative, which is what you have to do in a negotiation to then like be doing stuff from past years or the past year when it's like, okay, well, they have come out and said now, hey, we've fixed that part of it. You guys got to compromise another part or something like that. Yeah, NoCo is just crazy. Yeah, I wasn't even really covering the league as much back then, or at least more with Hailstorm. But like, this is the thing. So like this was unless all of this was agreed on like in the last week, which just can't be true because they've been negotiating for over a year. Um, I, no health insurance, 20 folded club. The folded clubs is the one I will always defend the players on with that with the last minute nature of it. Even with buyouts, that's just ridiculous. Like people have families, lives, financials aside. Now they have fixed it by giving the majority in a buyout. But it's like, man, players just yeah. I don't know, man. At a certain point, it's kind of somebody who does not have any pull in negotiations. It's again, it's so easy to worry about this and stuff like that. But at a certain point, man, we just kind of gotta see what happens. I mean, it's uh, I'm like speechless. Like I don't know. It's crazy that this. It's not crazy, but it's just really sad with this league. Who I mean, I don't know. If you're in this call for the most part, you probably really care about it or just soccer in general in the states, and it's just like This was supposed to be the big MLS competitor, and they were gonna do it better than MLS, and it just, I mean, literally months into announcing the whole pro rel and stuff, it's already we might not even have a season, or at least at the start of a season. Hopefully, it's just that at the worst case. But yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. Let me go John Morrissey. Uh, see, I don't know what this. All right, sorry, I am not good with streaming tech, as you have probably noticed. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, literally, kind of what we were all saying about like Gage, you were saying and stuff. This does feel like a attempt to really just claw back the public opinion. It makes me kind of wonder too, from the USL's perspective. I get you're trying to like be the league and maybe be like the more formal or whatever it may be. USLPA has just been run. There's like it's. I'd compare this to politics. Take like Republican, Democrat, whatever aside. I don't care about that. We have two candidates. If one is spending not necessarily money, but they're putting all this time into a campaign and reaching out in the public as the USLPA has, really haven't heard anything from USL this whole time. That's what makes this seem really desperate. Even if this like some of this could have been agreed on I like months ago. But even if it was or whatever, I mean, even if they had said that, it comes off as really desperate. I mean, like as always, John Morrissey spitting facts. But it just comes off as really desperate, even if this is fully USL going, look, we've compromised. It just the way they've handled it is, yeah, credit to USLPA. This is what you have to do in negotiations. And that once they got the ISC on their side and stuff like that, yeah, yeah. The only thing I will say with that is that it's been like known for a couple years that the timing of it and stuff is definitely, and again, the timing of it's terrible for the negotiations too, like just for them. Um, But I feel like we've known that we're gonna have pro rel for the last couple years. Like USL made an announcement about it earlier. I think it was just more the naming of it and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely bold to not tell the players about that when you're about to go into heated negotiations with them. It definitely doesn't give them any reason to compromise more than they feel they should. Oh yeah, go follow John Morrissey. By the way, I'm sure if you're a USL fan, you probably already do. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like just reading through it, I don't know what else to say. Like it's a bummer. If, like, people asking me right now, I'd say it's probably 60-40 we don't get games this weekend. The big thing to watch for, follow, I don't know the exact names, but if you can find a like, whether it's a beat reporter or somebody or even, like, guys like Morrissey and, Hodges and stuff might have it. Tomorrow would be the travel day for Louisville City. There is a Friday game. It's, yeah, no, exactly. Right. There is a Friday game. So having the Friday game I think definitely helps in terms of the time to kind of put pressure on both sides because Louisville has to travel tomorrow if they want to go to Lexington. I don't think they're traveling if they don't have at least a good faith promise that we're going to get to something by the end of the, or I guess by midday Friday or kickoff Friday. It's also just so like annoying for fans and stuff. I mean, like Lexington, like really anywhere this weekend, but especially Lexington for that first game. You could show up not knowing if they're going to play. Like, but, so I would say I don't exactly know Louisville's plans, but if Louisville travels tomorrow, I think there is a very good chance that, the league, we will kick off on time, and there has been something at least tentatively agreed to. If they don't travel tomorrow, we might be screwed for at least the weekend. Hopefully, it's just the weekend, but yeah, alright, that's I appreciate you guys hopping on, letting me break this down kinda on my own. Uh, but yeah, still pissed about Tormenta, and yeah, that's the that is the craziest part. That is the one of the honestly, like, even the pay and stuff aside, I'm not even discussing that right now. The players alone have such a case here, and I think that's some of their main leverage, at least negotiation-wise. You got guys just out of nowhere. I mean, the Tormenta thing, North Carolina FC is despicable in its own right. At least that's at the end of the year, and they finished it out. Tormenta, you've had this whole offseason. What just happened in the last week or 2 where you're like, "Oh, now we can't have a team," but we signed all these players. That is fully inexcusable. So is North Carolina, but the Tormenta part is ridiculous. Yep. And I talked about that, Steve, like, the no trophy ceremony at the Riverhounds one, I was at the match, like, it's just such a bad look from a league that's what I mean. It's and that's why I'm trying to play devil's advocate here with the negotiations. I think maybe the players are maybe over exaggerating the, like, or kinda overusing the public, um, sort of buy-in with them and stuff, and I think then it kinda muddies the lines where then it's, screw USL," but USL does not do themselves any favors. Like, I had made that comment about it. It's really tough when you're trying to be the premier pro sports in your sport in the country, and your top tier that just sold out a stadium is you're not even giving out a trophy. You're like, "Here you go," and then they barely had interviews, anything like that. Like, it's just really sad, man. It's such a bummer because this league had such momentum, I feel like, and now this seems like a lot of that momentum's halted. I'm not saying but hey, saying all this right now, not to lighten the situation, but USL League One kicks off this week, so I'm gonna be at AV Alta, but really, championship is it's the one that, like, gets the more coverage, things like this. I mean, it needs to be sturdy going into that Pro Rel and the Premier Division. Also, this is huge. I've seen a lot of this from, players' perspectives, just hotels and stuff. Yeah. That was the thing, like, they could have so easily just been like, "Nope, sorry, we couldn't do it on TV," and it would've made sense, like, to a certain extent. Yeah, it's just and I know, like, some of the people, not like the higher ups and stuff, but, like, I talked to some people with the USL at the airport afterwards, just grabbing food at the bar and stuff like that. Seemed like really, really good people, but again, those are not the higher ups. Those are, guys my age and stuff that are working social media or doing stuff like that, and it's, "Hey, Sarasota, baby." Declan Waters, MVP season. Watch it. I'm telling you. He's gonna be I mean, he already was pretty dang good, but like it's gonna be him and Skelton as the two big center backs. It's nice to actually talk. This whole time has just been negotiation. It's actually nice to talk about a USL player, even if it's USL League One, which I think I don't make any secret. Like I'm impartial to USL League One. I just think like the smaller communities is like it just resonates with me a little bit more. But USL Championship, I love to death as well. That's why this is such a bummer. But yeah, let me just look quick before I hop off. And I want to see if there's just anything from like normal journalists that are not I don't mean to say normal journalists, but journalists that are not like tasked with covering, excuse me, the USL. So yeah. Is New York Times paid? True. Yeah, John, true. But I mean, that's the thing at the end of the day. It's like, all right, so we're a pro team. What is that drive actually? Drive from. I need to get out there to those. Oh, you're all right. Never mind. You're right, John. I for some reason I thought they were. I'm from the West Coast. I'm for some reason I thought it was at least like a 4 or 5 hour drive. It's an hour and a half. So that is a good point. But I would say that we still got to arrange rides, stuff like that. Like I do think it is definitely a really bad sign. I mean, obvious. Oh no, it's a really bad sign if the team doesn't travel normally. Like, yeah, good take here, Kyle. But forget the athletics paid. Yep, and all these are ooh, Phoenix Sports. I love these dudes. When I was going to school out in Arizona, they were always cool. Texoma, I'm so down to go to Texoma. May might be a little early. Well, actually, maybe not. I don't know. Texoma just is a Texoma's a bummer to me right now, man. Is I had high hope, not high hopes for them if I'm being real, but like it just seemed like a cool kind of project. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, pro team in Sherman is a tough pull. They told me that they were going to do it. David. Yeah, no, Steve. I think the league boxed it up after the protests at the beginning of the game and then half as well, which makes it even worse. Like again, if you're going to stay, you knew they were going to protest. I You could have just not brought them, and again, they handled it was like at every turn, small or big, they made the wrong decision in terms of, like, that trophy presentation. It's like they went out of their way to make the wrong decision or be ignorant in every single little decision, and how to handle the post, how to handle the pre, how to handle the packing it, like that's what I mean. I think Texoma would just be a really cool pipeline to, rodeo. I almost said rodeo, that's the LA in me. But I like that's what I mean. I think Texoma is good like that. I cannot see Texoma, being a USL Premier team or a team that has the potential to promote there because they're not going to meet any requirements in terms of stadium size, attendance, anything. I also heard that Texoma was one of the main offenders talking to some players in terms of a lot of USL one teams do it very well in terms of how they handle players, accommodations, stuff like that. I just heard Texoma was not one of the better. No, well, we're in the top half, is what I'd say from players I've talked to. Part of that's also maybe just away players too, having to travel to Sherman. Yeah, all options are on the table. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, so this is a Phoenix Rising based one, but so the only thing here that this was a day, so probably 2 days ago, as I know if it was written at night, but it seems like the statement USL came out today with was slightly more positive than this, because this is a pretty brutal quote from Tobin. Much of the public discussion. Yeah, basically the same thing they said today, just reworded. But no, at the end of the day, it's a bummer. I don't really know what else I can break down about it. It's just again, yeah, I mean, among the issue is the health insurance. According to that's hilarious. According to Tobin, a lack of league-wide standards has led to subpar coverage at some clubs. Gee, I wonder who would enforce the league-wide standards. Like, it's just so I don't know if it's just tone deaf or purposely ignorant at times, but man, it's like this league has so much potential. It just feels like they do the wrong thing at nearly every corner, and they still have fans and all this stuff, and it's just yeah. I mean, this is all just lip service for oh no, yeah, no, we see where they're coming from. To be fair, I haven't seen some of these quotes, which is good. Who wrote this? Owen Evans. Good job. I'm assuming that's pronounced Owen, but it might be Owen. Owain. But yeah, all right. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for breaking this down with me. Hopefully, we see matches this weekend, starting with Friday's match. But yeah, last one. It's turning. I mean, that's me with Galaxy. I despise the MLS, but I love the Galaxy. They were my childhood team. Um, again, I don't like the owners. I love the players and I love the fans. It's just a bummer. But all right, guys. Well, honestly, I'll probably end up going live at some point this weekend. I'm going to be at the AV Alta game, so most likely. I might go live for, like, the first half of some of the League One games. Hopefully, we have championship games. But, wait, oh, yeah, that'll be the last is there I haven't really fully looked at the actual slate. I've been doing so much, prep for other stuff. You, gosh, clicking thing is so annoying. Is there a Sunday match? Ooh, hey, and it's Brooklyn's. I might drive here in time and live stream the second half of that. Obviously not live stream it, but live stream while watch along. Yeah, also in other news, Cristo Fernandez. That I will say to defend forward Madison, all the reports were saying that he, scored against forward Madison. Yeah, I think New York funny enough, New York Post is one of the few that didn't do it, but I know the ESPN article is, but yeah. Alright, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys for tuning in, and kinda talking this through with me. It was good to get other perspectives and stuff like that, but I will see you guys this weekend. Stay tuned on the stories and reels and stuff like that for AV Alta in match coverage and just other coverage on the league that hopefully, well, USL League One will play, but hopefully Championship actually plays. So have a good one, y'all.